Yeah, I wanted to talk about a couple of things when it comes to training. You see, the thing about it is that training is very symbolic of life and what you go through in life. Um, and what many people don't realize is we live in a society that's top heavy. So top heavy means that, like when you see in the gym, many people work their top. They work bicep, they work chest, they work shoulders, they don't work legs. They don't do deadlift. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Then when you're doing reps, you do half reps, you do this stuff, you do this stuff. There's a place for that. But if you're telling me that you want to do work the bicep, or you really want to work the muscle in terms of bodybuilding, you need to try and do some kind of range of motion, not half reps. Or you do this, you unrack the squat and you do this. That's not a squat. There's a place for that. Maybe if you're an athlete and you're working, you're a short distance runner and you want to do quarter squats for explosivity and things, that's different. But when it comes to building muscle, powerlifting and things, you need certain ranges of motion. So you get judged by your own words. So what I'm trying to say is that in life, everything is built from the bottom up. When you look at a tree, the tree has a root. When you look at a building that's built, it has a foundation. The taller the building, the deeper the foundation. You can't outsource the building of the foundation to some middleman, to steroids, to some quick fix program. What happens is, for example, if you take something that increases the speed of your development, there's a payment. There will be a payment, whether you like it or not. And that's what people don't realize, because first of all, I'm an inside-out guy. That means I work right below. I work way below the surface of things. So if it means a human being, that means I work inside the depth of my heart. Do you see what I'm saying? So you work character, you work spirit, you work character. These are the foundations which all these things develop virtues like patience, long-suffering, fighting spirit, willpower, determination, perseverance, all these kind of things. Internal strength, mental strength, the ability to focus, the ability to finish a task, the ability to follow through with a training routine, the ability to finish a cycle, the ability to maintain long-distance focus. This all comes from building a very, very strong foundation. When you outsource the responsibility of building the foundation to steroids, what happens is you develop externally. You may have the mind, you may have the muscle, and you have the strength, but where you lack is in the character and the spirit. So there's an insecurity inside your heart. So you end up doing other things. There's unnatural rhythms inside you. Whereas if you don't do that, you have natural rhythms. Natural rhythms are symbolized by things like the sun, the moon, the stars, the wind, the water, the nature. When the sun is rising, when the sun sets, you cannot push a button or take a drug to make the sun rise. You see what I'm saying? You have to wait. And that's the same thing when you're doing things naturally. You have to wait. So we live in a society where everything is growth. That's not natural. You have to grow, and then you need your character to catch up. You need your spirit, your internal being to catch up with the external progress, so that you have wisdom in how to use your external being, your skill set, your muscles, your technical abilities. If you don't have the wisdom, you will get injured. Something will happen, you will develop a disease, you will develop some kind of fear inside, some kind of insecurity. So my advice to a lot of different people, you don't have to follow what I'm saying, it's just my experience, my testimony, is to start developing from inside out, which means you need to go into the foundation of who you are. When you go into the foundation, very few people want to go there because it's dark. Underneath the ground is dark. Inside the depth of your being is dark. That's where you develop your character. That's where you start overcoming the fears inside you. You start overcoming, and when you start overcoming them, you bring the light, metaphorically speaking, into the darkness, and you have epiphanies, you have revelations. It's like understanding the deadlift. Many times people will do the deadlift. It takes a long time to master these lifts. The squat, the deadlift. You want to be able to lift 600 pounds in 1 month. And then you may do it. You may take all kinds of things and be able to do that. 700 pounds, 800 pounds. But in the end, inside you, there's a deficit. So you can't keep taking something to make up for those deficits. Because once the money is gone, Once the credit is gone, once the system falls, for example, how are you going to buy those drugs? What's going to happen to you? You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. But for me, I'm all about natural rhythms, building the foundation from ground up. Feet first, all the way up. You're doing the bench press, you need to familiarize yourself with the bottom. When you're doing the squat, you need to familiarize yourself with the whole. The deadlift, all the way from the bottom. You see? And that's where most of the fears are. In the bottom of the squat. The bottom of the bench. You see? So once you start overcoming the fears of the foundation, which is in the dark, you can start building. You see? The higher you want to go, the deeper you need to go. The more fears. The heavier the weight that you lift, 500-pound bench, guess what? You need to have the character to be able to handle that. You see? You need to be able to have the fighting spirit to lift that weight. Because a lot of the time, it's not just about how muscular you are or how strong you are, but it is a willpower. There's a focus. There's an internal strength that's like inside a cup inside you. It's a substance that builds over time. And you need that. So my advice to everybody, don't just develop the outside, the exterior, the mind, the knowledge, and the physical being. Develop the interior, the heart, the soul inside, the character. Now you'll be balanced with the internal strength matching the external strength. You see? Hopefully that makes sense to you. Thank you.